Well, happy 1st of September, everybody. Definitely excited for this month. As we all know, it's conference month, which is always a lot of fun. It always causes a lot of momentum and excitement in the company, and also causes a lot of people that right now do not know about Miriam will very quickly hear about it, especially coming out of the conference when you have 20, 25,000 people that have a new sense of urgency to go through their list and expose those people that they haven't exposed yet. So what I've been telling everybody first and foremost is the people that have the biggest explosions in their business coming out of the conference are the ones that expose the most people going in, whether that be a first exposure for them or just following up and giving them an additional exposure. Those are definitely the ones that have the most explosion coming out. Hold on, I'm just distracting myself. One sec. Okay. Okay, there we go. I just distracted myself on the recording. So the people that expose the most people going in, because what's going to happen, even if they, get started or don't get started prior to the conference, they're going to be watching you because they're going to hear a certain amount of excitement in your voice going in, and you'll have even more excitement coming out. And that I've seen so many people sign up brand partners from the conference. And then leaving the conference, having huge explosions in their business. So definitely the time is now to take advantage of these 8 days or 7 days leading up into the event. Conference starts a week from today. And definitely excited for all of you guys watching this video that are attending. We're still last minute getting people, transportation and rooms and tickets. So definitely not too late to make the decision to come. We will help you. All you have to do is reach out to any of us in your support team, and we will help you get to that event. We've never had any one person tell us that they really, really wanted to go and they just needed to figure out how and not being able to help them get there. We haven't had even one person. So, where there's a will, there's a way, and, definitely something that I'm excited about. Jess, do you want to add something on to that as far as topic number one with Dallas? I'm trying to get the screen right. I think you can unmute yourself if you want to. Let me unmute you because you're having a hard time unmuting.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
me.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. No, I don't have anything to piggyback except bring snacks. Be prepared to be in your seats early. Stay the entire time. It's going to be super, super, super important that you kind of rally the troops if they've never been to a conference before. Definitely rally the troops. Make sure everybody's butts are in seats and they have snacks in hand because there are no breaks, so there's not really a chance to get up and get food or anything like that. So definitely come prepared for that. Get good night's sleep before you come because you probably will sleep very little while you're there. We always have so much fun hanging out and meeting people, at after events and things like that. So definitely get some rest before you get there. Bring a huge notebook to take tons of notes and just get really, really excited because you're going to have a ton of fun while you're there. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Dallas, but I'm excited about the Q&A.
Perfect. So let's jump right in because there's just some topics that I want to hit on. I kind of posted a little bit of an outline of what we were going to talk about when I announced this Q&A. But, basically just the basics of exposures, follow-ups, three-way calls, closing, getting brand partners started right, and doing so in the existing countries that we're in right now, and then also in the countries that we're getting ready to open up. And there's been specific things that I've been answering for everybody on the team that I'm working with, whether it be brand partners or prospects here in the existing countries that we have now, the 5 that we're in, and then as well as the ones where we're going. And so I'm just going to hit on all those so it's in one place, and then so we just have a clear focus as far as how we're going to operate together here in the month of September and beyond, so that we can all move as fast as we want to go. And so with exposures, you guys know that, for those of you guys that have been in for a while, it was definitely the exposures are everything. The fortune is in the follow-up. But, we just have to always ask ourselves, what percentage of my list have I gotten through? And really, what percentage of those people have I gotten through the exposure process, where on average, it's going to take 5 to 7 exposures before they're ready to get started, as a brand partner. And, for everybody that gets started after 1 or 2 exposures, you're going to have, a whole list of other people that get started after 15 or 20. So it's just a matter of, it becomes a lot easier. And what I've been coaching a lot of people to do, and, a lot of the teachings from Eric Worre in the book Go Pro, if you haven't read that book lately, that's always a good kind of reminder. But just as far as when you're doing the exposure, setting the time to follow up makes it so much easier on you to get those 5 to 7 exposures done quickly, where it's not, 1 exposure in September and then 1 in, November. You're just getting those 5 to 7 done fast. And the way that would look is, if I were calling Matt and say, say we're someone that we used to work together, we haven't seen each other for 3 months. I'm just throwing out just a random scenario. Any scenario that you guys have, we can share with you how we would expose. And everything that I'm sharing with you, just how I would personally do it, from going on 6 years of experience in the industry, almost 4 years with Nerium. There's no right or wrong way to do it, as long as you're following the system. You're doing anything that is working, and any of these things that we're going to be talking about on this Q&A, don't stop what's working. Just do more of what's giving you the results that you're wanting, as long as it's something that not only works, but also can duplicate. My biggest advice for anybody, as far as just one simple question that you can ask yourself that will help you as far as knowing if what you're doing is something that's going to duplicate long-term, and that's, could somebody turn around and do what I'm doing to them to share Nerium with them? Could they turn around and do it to somebody else 30 seconds later? Could they literally copy you 30 seconds later? And if you're starting to give any facts and figures out of your mouth, well, of course they couldn't do that. I mean, unless they have a photographic memory, which is a very small percentage of the population. So it's just like that game of telephone as a kid. The second it gets to that second and that third person, and everybody's trying to repeat the message, by the time it gets to the 4th or 5th person, that message is completely jumbled up. So same thing with us. Now, can someone pique interest and say, hey, I'm super excited. I've been working all these hours in corporate America. Well, I've been looking for a way to be able to fire my boss and travel the world with my friends and my family. And I'm so excited that I found a way to do that. Have no idea if it's going to be for you, but if I sent you a video, would you do me a favor and watch it? I'm taking this really serious, and I want you to be one of the first to see what it is that I'm doing. Maybe you can point me in the right direction. If I send you this video over, will you do me a huge favor and watch it? And getting that commitment from them to watch it, and from there asking them, perfect. So I'm sending it over to you now. It's about 15 minutes. What's going to be a good time, later today to follow up? What time do you think you'll watch it? And they'll say, well, I get home from work at about 6, I'm going to eat dinner. So it'll probably be later, probably like 8:30. Perfect. So if I call you at 9 o'clock, is that too late? Is that a pretty good time to follow up? You would have watched it by then. And you confirming that time. Maybe 9 o'clock's not good. Maybe they say, no, let's talk tomorrow. So you say, okay, tomorrow, would in the morning or the afternoon be better? And they say, well, the morning is great. And I'll say, okay, perfect. So we're talking like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I get a specific time so that all I have to do is just follow through with the time that I set. And as long as you do that, you're at least holding up your end of the bargain. And then again, we'll go to the next exposure, which we'll talk about 3-way calls in a second. But that's going to be how you're going to be able to get through those exposures much faster, by setting the intentional follow-up at a specific time. So that's what I want to talk about on that. Any questions you guys have, just write them down, and we'll just burn through them. I'm going to get through these little training topics so I don't leave anything out. And so exposures with brand partners in other countries, pretty simple. The 1-2 punch that we've been really doing right now has been showing them, me and Jessica did a webinar that I'm really, really confident in for the Australians. I related it to the countries that we're in and the other countries that we're going to, but we were specifically talking about Australia and launch dates there. I'm really confident in that webinar. It's like 22 minutes, and we both did a really good job. I showed some visuals, and everybody that has watched that webinar and got on a Zoom meeting afterwards, that's the second step in the 1-2, has signed an LOI, like pretty much every single person. And so that's what you want to be doing, is showing them a first exposure. If there's something, again, that you're using that you're super comfortable with, you're excited about, maybe it's another webinar, maybe it's something else, and it's been working for you and it can duplicate, keep using that. whenever someone reaches out and says, hey, what should I send this person? Immediately I'm giving them the webinar that Jessica and I did, because that's what I'm most comfortable with. So again, no right or wrong thing to use as an exposure as long as it's third party. But definitely the second thing that we want to do is, I'm really keen on feeling like I'm like the matchmaker when I have my expert that I want to do a three-way call for me or a Zoom call for me and my prospect. And what I want to share with them is, hey, what'd you think about that webinar? How'd you like it? What'd you like about it? When I'm following up with them and they say, wow, that's really interesting. So I'm really going to be one of the first ones out here to know about this. Yeah, I've never heard about this before. It's super exciting. In fact, I'm actually working with some of the people that are going to be the first ones here from America in Australia to be working with local people, local Australians. And one in particular, I really want you to meet and just hear her experience and hear what's really possible for you and how big this could get for you and your family. I'm going to bring her on. We'll do a little video chat. We'll all kind of chat together. What's a good time? And just, guys, know your leaders' schedules as far as what's good for them with these Australian Zooms and these other country Zooms. For me personally, I'm not going to be chomping at the bit to get up at 4 a.m. and do a call. Now, not that I won't, if that's the only time that this prospect could possibly do it. But just know you're going to get the energetic Noel if you do it at nighttime, if you do it later in the day. So I'm always going to push for, with Australia, I found that if it's, in the daytime, AM hours for them, it works perfectly with my schedule. Your other leaders that are doing Zooms might have a different schedule that fits better for them. Maybe it's better for them in the morning, which would be PM hours for the Australians or the Japanese or the Koreans or wherever they happen to live. So just check with that before you commit to a time, because a lot of times your prospects can do them AM or PM. They have a flexible enough schedule where they can fit in a 20-minute Zoom, and your leader doesn't have to wake up at 3 a.m. to talk to them. It's not necessary. So, Jessica, I don't know, how do you want to do it? If you want to chime in, or else I'll just keep rolling through stuff.
I'll chime in when I have some things to say, but you're covering pretty much all the bases right now. I am going to be doing a Zoom recording today, so that if you have specific emails that you want to get on, just with, like, I'll basically be doing what Noel and I did a webinar before, but it'll probably just be reversed. So instead of Noel giving all the information, it'll be me giving all the information, and then maybe Noel will hop on and do like a testimonial, but it'll be just kind of the reverse of what we did before. Just if you have predominantly females that you're reaching out to, or anybody in the skincare profession or anything like that, you can definitely use that. But other than that, I don't really have anything to say yet, but I'll definitely chime in as soon as I do. I will.
Decide when, but I'm going to have you definitely hit on what you were doing, just kind of a mini version as far as after they've signed the LOIs, how we can give them a sense of urgency to basically do the same thing that we did with them, giving them pretty much giving them like a little mini game plan so that they can get people onto the next webinar that we're going to do for them, and it'd be their prospects, and just giving them a sense of urgency. What I'm really good at is giving everybody a sense of urgency and letting them know the big picture as far as why they want to move now, why they want to move ASAP and not wait. And the more urgent that you can be with your Nerium business when it comes to your own personal prospects, with your team, with yourself, the more urgent that you can be, the more fun it is, and the faster that things will move for you. That energy that you have of urgency and excitement and positive expectation is always going to drive your results much, much quicker than, just kind of slowly, going through the roller coaster, the highs and lows. If you can, it's easier to go fast, I've noticed in this, as far as just when you're going to be working an hour or two today in Nerium or whatever your time period is, just really giving that, walking around, getting some energy going, whatever you do to get your energy up, that's going to definitely be something that the prospect is going to hear your energy and your excitement. They'll be able to feed off of that as far as your urgency. But with the people in other countries, what I'm telling them is the same thing I'd tell everybody here in the United States, but it's just a larger scale for them. Less than 1% of the population knows about Nerium right now. And what that could mean for you is if you choose to be the first one to share it with the people that you have in your network, regardless if they want to be customers, or they want to do the business, or they just want to give referrals, we know that whatever comes out of that is going to come to you. And that's what you want, because, here in the US, same thing. We've been here 5 years. Less than 1% of the population has any clue that we even exist. And so if we choose to be the first one to share with them, you'll be able to have all of those people that are going to get started, in the launch event in Australia, and in the, in the months after. Some of those people could end up on your team, or they can end up on other people's teams. So here's what we want to do. We're going to get you your letter of intent signed, and we want to help you as far as sharing this with some of the people that there, so that they can get their letter of intent signed, and they could be one of the first to hear about this, and join in all the growth with the launch as well. So that's kind of the urgency that we've been having. And pretty much, I mean, all that you guys have to focus on. I mean, if you're doing three-way calls for your group, I recorded a YouTube video that really is hitting on the sense of urgency that I'm giving to prospects to sign up. I'll send that to you if you're doing three-way calls. Just message me and I'll shoot that over to you. And then also, just when I'm getting brand partners started at this point, they could be the ones in Australia or wherever, and the ones here locally. But I'm really enjoying getting people their introduction to Eric Worre and what he's doing with just his overall knowledge. I mean, this is someone that used to own a company with Jeff Olson, and a lot of the same philosophies that are driving their coaching. But as far as like when people get started, I'm giving them www.thelistvideo, thelistvideo.com, which is a 14-minute video from Eric Worre that really gives people the big picture as far as your active candidate list, your network of people that now, how to add additional people to your network. And people are coming to the game plans with this large list that otherwise maybe they were prejudging. He just hits on all the things that, you start to tell your brand partner when they come to your game plan with a 10-person list. He hits on all that before, so they can come to the game plan with a 100 or 200-person list. So it's just saving a lot of time, and it's introducing them to his teachings. And then you haven't seen it yourself. I think I've watched this now probably 4 or 5 times, and it's just a great refresher. But when I'm doing the game plan with the brand partner, all I need for somebody to do to game plan with me, if I'm doing it, is watch that list video and make your list. And I'll walk you through the Fast Start game plan. During the game plan, I'll make sure that I'm doing them all on Zoom, and I'm recording them, putting them on YouTube video for the brand partner so they can go back and look at what we talked about. This will be a YouTube recording. Everything that I'm doing, I'm moving a lot of it onto Zoom so that I can record it and I can put it onto a YouTube video. It might be private just for that brand partner. I'm not going to spread it around. But it's really, really great technology for being able to, to record and share and that sort of thing. But all I really need personally, and, if your leaders that are doing game plans for you have something else that they're doing and it's working and it's duplicating, fantastic. But for me personally, all I need is somebody to watch that list video and make their list. And then I'm going through the Fast Start document with them, showing them where their new brand partner training is in the backyard office. I'll share my screen with them on Zoom, show them exactly where that is if they don't know where that is. Really show them the value of doing that new brand partner training ASAP. And then I'm giving them one more tool of personal development. Obviously, I'm going to let them know that when their kit arrives, ideally their kit hasn't come yet. Ideally, we're doing this game plan in the first 24 to 48 hours, especially if that brand partner is wanting to get Fast Start qualified. If they're wanting to get their business moving right away, that game plan, it only takes someone, 30 minutes to write out a long list, or an hour to write on a long list, especially with the help of that list video. So really, I'm booking the game plans as close to the time that they sign up as humanly possible. With one caveat, I'm not a big fan of doing game plans unless that's just the only block of time that that brand partner has. I mean, if their schedule is super crazy, maybe they're like an MD or something, and they see hundreds of patients during the day, and the only time they can game plan is at 10 o'clock at night, so be it. But if you're someone that has options of doing a game plan during business hours, that's what my choice is, because there's things that we can do in that game plan that you can actually start, calling and texting and messaging and doing all the things that we're going to show you how to do. If it's during business hours, obviously if it's 10 o'clock at night, it's more of this is what you will be doing, tomorrow or the next day. I'd like to actually actively get things moving with a brand partner. So that's the one caveat. I do like to schedule them during business hours if possible. But there's one more thing that I'm really, really driving on that game plan as far as personal development and just helping them with their process. And I'm edifying this like crazy. This video is, like I said, I've watched it 4 or 5 times. If you go to faststartplan.com, that's another program that Eric Worre set up. Really good. It's about an hour-long video that he says, this is how he promotes it. He says, the knowledge that you get after watching this a few times will put you in the top 1% in the world as far as the knowledge of a network marketer. It's just decades and decades of, just really, really great, philosophies, which will lead to everything that the person needs to know to be successful here in this business. So, Jessica, you want to add to any of this stuff?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so everybody that's listening in, Noel is known for wanting to make people like as prepared as humanly possible, and so I just want to preface all of that because he has information for days because we seek out information. We truly want to help these people that want to make it to the top of this company become the most prepared, the most professional, and all that good stuff. So when a new brand partner comes in, you really do have to have a sense of a feel. You have to ask the right questions, and you have to get to the bottom of if this person is going to be a fast starter or a slow starter. Because if they're a fast starter, they're typically going to get through their entire network before you even game plan with them, and they're going to ruin a bunch of people. Those are the people that don't usually watch the new brand partner training. They don't usually ask for help. They usually just go do it. And then you're like, okay, let's game plan. And they've already contacted, well, I just sent out 200 messages on Facebook and they just butchered their network. You've got to realize and ask questions in the beginning, like who those fast starters are, because those are the people you've got to lock arms with and say, look, I need you to put duct tape on your mouth until you have a game plan with me, because I want to take that list from not knowing to knowing with you in the very beginning so that we can make sure that we're doing it right the first time and not having to go back and fix anything. It's way harder to do that than it is to, make sure that we're doing the process right to begin with. So if there's somebody that's a slow starter, typically they're the ones that want to wait until their kit comes in. They have to read everything that's in the kit before they feel comfortable doing anything. Those are the people that you have to really be careful not to overwhelm. Like, you don't want to give them 5 million different things to do, or they're going to think to themselves, oh my gosh, like I thought this was a part-time thing. And they're going to probably be ones that, you have to move a little bit slower with, but you really are matching somebody else's pace. So if they don't want to go fast in this business, don't blow them out of the water with giving them 5 million steps. Give them the simple, basic, okay, let's make your list. Okay, perfect. So let me show you your new brand partner training. So they know where it's at in the back office. Let's schedule a game plan for you. On the game plan, let's schedule your 2 real results parties. Let's schedule and just do very, 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 very slow and basic with them, so they don't blow them out of the water. The fast starters, those are the ones that typically they're going to go into action so much faster that you almost have to hold them by the hand and talk to them every single day, or they will ruin their entire network. So those ones, I just want you to know, those I would get this information, like every single tool that Noel's saying, in their hands and say, when you're getting ready in the morning, listen to this. When you're driving in the car, listen to this. Because they totally will, because they're hungry and they want to move quick. So those are the ones that I would just make sure, because there's tons of information out there and we're giving you a lot of information as well, but you just have to really mirror match who you're talking to and who you're working with. We have a really good feel for that at this point, but I don't know who's on the calls right now, so I just want to make sure that you're not saying, well, Noel said, here, give them this, and then they're 24 hours old, they're a slow starter, and you just gave them 15 steps of things to do, and they're going to quit tomorrow. So I have to preface this with that. And then the other thing that I was going to say is I will share with you guys kind of what I'm doing with people that are getting LOIs signed, and then what I want to do with them, which is a training of some sort, fast start game plan of some sort, leading up to me going into town. So I have a couple of weeks until I'll be in Australia, and I definitely want to be able to work with these people free going there, because if the more people that we get exposed, but get this, guys, just because they signed an LOI does not mean that they're in the business. You've got to realize that if these people don't get trained and they're going out there and fishing with no bait and they're trying to do the business, but they don't know how to do the business, and they're getting a bunch of no's, chances are they're not going to be around by the time I get out there. So we really do have to make sure that these people are you can't just say, oh, I got an LOI signed, cool, they'll be at the launch event, that's that. It really does have to be something that you're staying in touch with them, you're dripping, you're constantly still really raising their belief in this company and what we're doing here, because it's not something that they're in yet. And they have a piece of paper signed. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, it's great, but it's not a legal binding contract, and there's no money on the line. So they really have nothing in the game yet. So we really have to express to them kind of the vision of the company, send them, different things that we have in our back office, different tools, different videos, different fun things that they can see, plug them into the Facebook group so that they feel welcomed, welcome and say, oh my gosh, super excited, so-and-so from Australia just signed an LOI. Can we please help them welcome them to the Nerium family? Can't wait to explode Sydney with you, or can't wait to explode Melbourne with you, or whatever it is, so that they feel super welcomed, and all of us are cheering in and, saying, oh my gosh, welcome to the team, welcome to the team. So if we constantly raise that loyalty, constantly raise that belief and vision for them, then they're going to do a million times more anyways, instead of just letting them get old and cold too, because they signed an LOI and we didn't do anything with them after that. So there has to be a lot of vision when it comes to signing an LOI and not having a company even in your country yet. So what I've been doing with people is just asking a lot of really good questions. I'm like, hey, do you want to be the first person that shares this with your network in this country? Hey, do you want a piece of this pie? Like, how big of a piece of pie do you want? I try to get to their why. And I really share with them, like, look, dude, at the beginning of our Nerium career in the U.S., we got started like a year and a half into the company. So you guys have a year and a half ahead of us already, and this is what we've created in 3.5 years. But I've seen people that got started in the very beginning of Nerium that totally out, grabbed market share because of the timing that they got started. So I want to make sure that if that's something that you want, then I'm there to support you in every step of the way, and allow them to say that's what they want. Because when they say that's what they want, then you have permission to now move quickly with them. Before you get them their permission, you're really pushing somebody that you don't even know if they want to be pushed. And so if you really ask good questions in this business, you'll be able to get people to say what you want them to hear instead of you saying what you want them to hear, if that makes sense. It's really important that you understand that, because you can get people to move 10 times faster when they're saying it out of their mouth and you're saying it out of your mouth. So that's I'm asking good questions for LOI after somebody signs an LOI. I'm asking good questions before I'm having somebody sign an LOI. But I mean, honestly, guys, when they sign that thing, that's seriously go time, and that's the time where you start introducing them to everybody in their support team. Sorry, I just got home. So this is the part where you get everybody in their support team involved. Like, say, oh my gosh, I would love to connect you with some of the people on your support line. So here's, let's do a group Facebook message and add all the NMDs and all the support team and say, hey, I want to introduce you to some of the people that you're going to be working with. I know that in the next couple of weeks, we can definitely hop on Zooms or do quick video chats or whatever and just introduce everybody so that you feel comfortable. And, we can help answer questions, and one of us will always be available for you or your prospects and things like that. But I'm going to do something at some point very soon, and I'll let you know as soon as I know, where it's going to be like a little mini training for people that have LOI signed, so that they're not out there doing the business without any clue how to do the business, fishing with no bait. And so as soon as we get that on the books, I will post that and I will announce that, and I will make sure everybody with LOIs knows about it. What happened?
That's gonna happen ASAP. Like maybe even on Saturday. We'll schedule.
What's today? Thursday? Is today Thursday?
Yeah, because that's.
Is there any regionals on Saturday?
Well, it's not gonna be Saturday for us. I'm talking about more Saturday for them.
No, Saturday for them. Well, I'm down for that. So how about we just put it on the books now? We'll say Saturday morning, 9 p.m. our time. Is that 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. their time?
Yeah, everybody that signed and everybody that has signed an LOI, or we could do it as like we'll give vision too. So we'll give that.
No, for sure. So we'll get that on the books, and we'll definitely post about that. But basically, it'll just be me sharing with them kind of the timing of the company, what's going on, and then also how to put me to work, what to say, how to say it, how to put me to work for the next 2 weeks while I'm stationary. And then when we go to Australia, then I'll be there actually at the launch events, and I'll be there able to work with them in their own, backyards for the months leading up until the actual launch dates. So I think that's all that I really had to say as far as getting new brand partners started. We just want to make sure that we're mirror matching them very well, and we're giving them that sense of urgency, but we have to only give them the amount of sense of urgency that they're ready to handle, of course. So you have to ask good questions. And that list video is great. You still want them to do the new brand partner training, guys, but I will tell you this. If after 24 hours of somebody signing up in this business, they have a clock on them. And that clock allows them to go from being hot and excited and jacked up their mind and so stoked to being like colder and colder and colder and colder and colder and colder. And you want to get them excited excited and into action as fast as possible when they're in that hot stage. The first 24 hours, that's when the welcome call happens. That's when you're booking the game plan. That's when you're getting everything rocking and rolling for them. So if they can watch an 11-minute, list video, make a huge list, and get them already in action, then they have an open sign on their front, on their forehead. They feel like they're open for business. When they feel like they're open for business, they're open to doing more activity as far as like doing the new brand partner training, to learning. They have to now learn how to do this business if they're now open for business and they're already doing action. So just make sure that that's something that you're doing and not scheduling game plans 2 weeks out and saying, oh, well, your new brand partner training has to be done first. Yes, I do believe the new brand partner training is very important, but if you grab them by the hand and you help them get through their network in the very beginning stages while they're hot, you will be able to make them feel so open for business that they are forced to now learn this business. Whereas if you let them get old and cold, they still have another new brand partner training. You didn't get into their network and now they're out of the business because they're cold. Then you didn't get anywhere with them. So I would rather get them into activity a little bit quicker first, and then start plugging them into fun personal development that's going to allow them to continue to grow and develop as a leader. So that's pretty much all I have to say for now.
Cool. So I want to open it up for questions, and Jessica mentioned multiple times there as far as asking good questions. I have a couple really, really good ones that I'll share with you guys, but I think one of your questions will spark that. And I already saw one that someone posted on Facebook that I'll address it. So let's just open it up for questions. I think all of you guys can unmute yourselves there on your phone with that setting. So whoever wants to, whoever has any questions, please take it away.
I got 3 questions, if you don't mind. Just ask the very first one. It's kind of quick. Jessica, you said you're going to Australia. Where in Australia? So I could maybe coordinate if I had anybody over there. Are you planning on going all over? Or are you going to be like one central location?
I'll be in Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne. And then I'll probably go up to Perth and potentially Adelaide, where the brand center is at some point. But in the very beginning, I'm literally just flying in for the launch events. And then I'll be in Brisbane, I think, a day early, and I'll be in Melbourne for probably a week after the launch event.
So more like your location that you're going to try and out the most when it's all said and done is Melbourne?
Well, Melbourne will be the last event, so I'm going to just hang out there for a little while afterwards. I know we have a lot of LOI signed from there so far, but my ultimate goal would be to, if it weren't so quickly after Dallas that Australia's pre-launch events were happening, I would be in Brisbane longer too, but I have to move out of my condo at the same time right after Dallas. So for time's sake, I'm just going to get there probably a day in advance for the Brisbane event, and then I'll be there in Melbourne a little bit longer. But what I want to do is just because I want to kind of see how many people we have in all 3 markets, and then plan my events and plan, like, because I know Dale Munger, Danny asked me, a bunch of the people in the Epic Lifestyle group and our team group are going to be out there at the same time as I am. So we're going to actually get together, and we're going to put together market parties in different markets. We're going to put together kind of a scheduled game plan of everything that we're going to do while we're there. And when I know what I have like a real clear picture of who's in what markets, then I'll be able to say, all right, this week I'll be here, boom, this week I'll be here, boom, this week I'll be here. But I think since I'll already be in Melbourne, I'm not going to turn around and leave Melbourne right away. For that last launch event, I'll probably be there for that week.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. And thank you. That was good. Because then I guess, like you said, once you know a little bit more, for sure, I'm sure you're gonna be posting stuff. But I'm
going where the fire's at. So
yeah, you're gonna follow the events, and then I'm sure you're gonna follow the events, and then each time when there's any when Mark Smith is gonna talk, so maybe you'll follow those and be a little closer to where that's all at.
Yeah, I'll be at everything Mark Smith is at for the most part.
Cool. Another question I have. We have someone who's thinking about doing Nerium in Canada, and he's wanting to sample a bottle. And then we also have someone in Colombia as well. So for those 2 scenarios, what do you guys, what suggestions do you have? Do you just say, hey, 30-day money back, go ahead and buy one? Or do you have anything set for like someone in Colombia or Canada? I guess because they wouldn't be getting Optimira from me if I sent them something. They would be getting the Nerium, the regular Nerium night cream from America, or whatever suggestions you guys have for samples for people in other countries that are not open yet.
For sure. So there's the Optimira. I personally use Optimira and I love Optimira. So I have like just a few bottles left that I personally use for myself. But I bought a Blitz pack. What we could do is we could go in as like a team and I'll buy a Blitz pack, and then whoever needs bottles get them as a discount. And then what I would do is I would maybe use that product until it's halfway empty, and then send it off if you want to somebody, or you can just make them buy it. But I think personally for me, if it's a really, really, really good prospect and they've already had a three-way call, they've already seen information, they're pretty much just only going to try the product and then sign up, then at that point, then I'm probably going to just send them something myself. And now if they haven't had a three-way call, they only check that information, and I think that they're just being cheap and they don't want to buy it themselves to try it as a customer first, then that case, I'll probably get them on a three-way call. And I'll probably get the expert to really promote them trying the 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's not necessarily coming from me, and them actually kind of move the process along. If they need to try the product, the third-party expert will ask about that, find that out, and then promote the 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's not left on me.
All right, cool. And one last question, then I'll let everybody else ask questions. Just one last one. I got some business owner who's from Italy, and I know whether you guys do or not know, but I know for sure we're going into Europe in 2017, and he's pretty excited about starting now, laying the groundwork for Italy. Any suggestions, or should I just treat it just like Australia and everybody right now? I mean, I know it's 6 to 8 months or so away, but I got this guy and I know a lot of Italians over there that are here, and know a lot of family and friends from over there. And so I'm kind of spreading the word, and some of them are already using the Nerium here. But like even today, I'm going to have a meeting maybe with him and his daughter that's here until the 8th, and she goes back to Italy. And so he kind of wants to lay the groundwork in his little town in Italy for it in the future. Any suggestions on that?
I would say wait until Dallas, because I think that they'll probably give us dates in Dallas for when that will, maybe the pre-launch will be, or maybe the launch will be. So I think as soon as we know when those dates are going to be, it'll be easier, because I mean, anything is up to change at any moment in time. So promoting something too much too in advance, the momentum dies down a little bit. So I would say just, hey, you know, I know that this is going to be a huge market. I know that we're going to definitely blow up in Italy. Do I have any background noise, or can you hear me?
Can you hear?
It's like echoing in my ear for some reason. So I would say, let me get some information in a week that we're going to Dallas. Let me get some information. As soon as I know dates, let's hit the ground running, and we'll be able to do pre-launch stuff with you, and I'll be able to introduce you to your support team, and we can strategize and all that good stuff. But just so we don't jump the gun too much, I would probably say, you know, let's just lay low for at least a week and find out if Dallas is going to announce the actual European date, because that'll be huge.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are they here though? Are they here? Or are they just from there?
No, he's here. He owns a restaurant right around the corner from me. I go there all the time. He's really cool. He loves me, my dog, and whenever time I walk by there and we eat there. And he's been trying the cream for a long time, and he's a preferred customer. And so he liked it and everything, but he's all excited about it going. And he was even just talking about laying the groundwork for Italy. So once it goes, he can't do Nerium here because he's on a work visa, but he can in Italy when it goes. So that's the thing.
I was going to say, okay, that makes sense. I was going to say, why can't we do this groundwork now? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so, does he have family that he could do? I don't know. Noel, do you have any ideas for that?
Yeah, I would just keep him plugged into like the excitement of like the conference. Like maybe he can access the live stream or something. I don't know how they're gonna do it this year, but
I think they said they're not having a live stream this year. Yeah, because I remember even Todd Cahill saying something. He's like, "I'm so happy they're not doing it this year because it discouraged people from even going or something." He said, "But they're not doing a live stream this year." I heard that. Yeah.
I've heard it both ways. We'll see. But yeah, just keep him plugged into the activities that we have going on and getting him excited. I've been telling everybody that's not in Hong Kong, Colombia, or Australia that we'll have more information after Dallas, and then we're going to update them there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, if there is no live stream, there still can be like, you can do different types of like Facebook lives and stuff like that into different groups. So maybe even start like a little group with just you and him. And if there's like something that you're watching and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so powerful, like do a quick Facebook live and let him see it.
Yeah, he's an older guy. He's probably like in his 60s and has a business here. He's I know he's on Facebook, but yeah, he's just he knows about. Yeah, he just wants to, he knows about first movers advantage. Let's put it that way. And he's kind of excited about going to Italy. And I know a couple other people that are here that own businesses here in Midtown that are from Italy, and they've actually been preferred customers as well. So I got 2 Italians here that are preferred customers, and they know eventually it's going to be going because I talked to them about, oh, you're still doing the Nerium thing. Oh, yeah, still doing. Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, it's going to Italy someday soon. Cool, let me know. One of them type things. So just keep them in the loop.
Got it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Matt.
Awesome job on everything. Yeah. Seriously, Matt, you're killing it.
Thank you. It's awesome. Yep, we're NLC qualified again, so it's all good. Chilling. So I'm gonna mute myself. Anybody else has any?
Perfect. Anybody else have questions? I'm gonna, since you just hit NLC, congrats to everybody who's qualified there. We have a question here on Facebook that I'm gonna answer now about NLC. For those that did not qualify, well, let me go back to it. Open it up. Question is, if you are not NLC qualified, where do you go from here? So I love the NLC, and I'm NLC qualified. Jessica's NLC qualified. I mean, the vacations are they're a lot of fun. And I like how Todd put this on the video he did the other day. It's like the memories that we create in life are, they're priceless. So, there's going to be additional trips. That's the first thing that I'll say. There's always going to be a running 12-month contest. So whenever they announce the next trip, which may be in the next couple of months, they may tell us what it is. You're still going to want to have 12 consecutive months, even after this qualification for Ports of Arts is over. So that's the first thing, is already be in the habit of qualifying for the next trips, because you'll be able to, there's not going to be any wasted months. Like, you'll have to get 12 consecutive months to qualify for the next one. So it's not like just because September might not go towards Ports of Vallarta for someone that isn't qualified right now, that 1 month in September is not going to be a waste. Like, you'll still be able to use it towards a future trip, but they have to be consecutive. So that's the key, is getting in the habit of being, consecutively NLC qualified. But really the most important thing when it comes to that is, I would just ask, remember why you started. What's your reason that you got started with Nerium? And one thing that I've been hitting on so hard, because I know as human beings, all of us want it. And nobody feels good when they don't feel like they have as much of it as they want, is the freedom. The freedom to choose, to spend time with their friends, their family, to do the things they're passionate about, to not have to do something for work that they wouldn't do if they had, a residual income coming in. That's the key, guys. Very few people in society have money coming in when they're not working. And you want a great question. I've been asking this to anyone where it's come up in conversation, whether I'm networking with people or whatever, and they tell me, what it is they do. I'm always curious, I'm super curious to know, do they have any good residual income coming in right now? Like, I'm always curious. I'm just like waiting for the answer. And if they pause it, maybe they don't know what residual income really is, because we're not taught that in school. I'll say, money that's coming in when we're not working. And a lot of times that's when, the deer in the headlights look comes, and most of the population does not have money coming in when they're not working. And if they do, my hat's off to them, but it's not a amount where they could stop doing what they're doing right now for work and live off of that residual income. So there's a difference between, having, that's cool. You can have some, like, maybe you have an investment property that's bringing you in $300 or $400 a month. Fantastic. They don't have an income that it's pure residual. Like with Nerium, 90% of our revenue, give or take, is residual income from the customer base. And this is out of Jeff Olson's mouth. And so, what does that mean for us as individuals? Well, that means that 90% of our paycheck, as you go up the compensation plan, is also recurring residual customer base. And I've seen that since, the first year that I've been with Nerium. And so, I love to ask people what kind of residual income do they have in their portfolio right now. And if it's not much or nothing, I'll say, oh my gosh, like you got to see what I do. I actually just saw recently, report from the USA Today that if we don't have money coming in when we're not working, we'll always be working. And that's definitely not something that I wanted for me. That's not something that I wanted for my friends and my family. So, I'm doing something about it right now, and I'm happy to share it with you. You should definitely see what's going on. And that's just an easy way to be able to get exposures. That is my main. Art Williams, the first recorded billionaire because of this industry, said that in order to grow a big business in network marketing, you have to have something that you stand behind, so strongly as far as, why you're doing this, like what your crusade is for yourself, for your family, and, overall for what you want to help your team do. And for me, mine is just helping people have the freedom to have the options to, if they want to send their kids to private school, great. If they want to pay for their college, great. If they want to take, 2 6-month vacations consecutively, fantastic. If they want to fire their boss, I'd love to help them do that. So that's really what I stand behind, and what I see Nerium as giving us that not many other vehicles, unless you're planning on going to create a hit record or, go do some commercials or TV shows so you can have your royalty checks come in, your residuals. But this is the best thing that I've seen as far as residuals for, just average everyday people that go from, I was working a corporate America job to all of a sudden having a residual income coming in. I'd never received $1 of residual income prior to Nerium. So that's really the thing that I've been hitting on. So for the person that asked if we're not qualified, where do we go from here? You just have to ask yourself, what is it that right now, currently, your current reality, you'd like to change about that? Because there's something right now in all of our current realities that we want in addition to what we have now. If there was nothing that we wanted in addition to what we have now, we'd be basically preparing for death out on an island somewhere. We're always growing, we're always expanding. We always want more for ourselves, for our friends, for our family. And that's how we're built. That's how we're wired. So really grasping what that is. And when you can connect the dots and saying that, looking at Nerium as the vehicle for that, just get around people that already are going in that direction. Surround yourself with people that, that's why we do masterminds like this. That's why we go to Dallas, is because you're surrounding yourself with people that are moving in the same direction as you want to go. And together we can go much, much faster. So how do you find daily self-motivation? Same thing. I just really ask myself, what is the most important thing to me? And just let the excitement of where that's, of what that is going to look like, what that's looking like more and more every day, pull me in that direction. Enjoyallday.com is that webinar that we did. That is definitely great advice for just reminding yourself, how powerful we are and kind of going in that direction. And then how do you overcome, good question, how do you overcome not having a sponsor? We run our own business, but it's nice to have someone that checks on you and asks if you need help or have questions. So a lot of the top earners in this industry did not have a sponsor, did not have someone that was, doing the business. They had people to show them the way, but for them to actually be successful, they realized that if it was, if it was meant to be, it was up to me, that saying. It's just one of those things where in order for anybody to grow a 6-figure business, not that that's everybody's goal, but if you want to get to NMD in this company, you have to just look at your business as, this is my business. And, I am going to do what's necessary, just like the other NMDs in the company did, to take ownership of my team and to help them get to where they want to go. But the mentality of, I'm going with or without anyone, when that clicks in, then you're unstoppable in Nerium. Like literally, if when you get to the point, if you're not there already, when you get to the point where you're like, even if everybody that I know in the company right now quit, which I don't know why they would, they're not, but I don't know why they would, I'm not going anywhere, because this is what I see as the vehicle for me to get me to, my reason why I'm doing this. Once you have that mentality, I'm going with or without anyone, you're unstoppable, and your prospects can feel that from you. Your team can feel that from you. And, that's the most attractive quality in a leader. Leaders on the battlefield, they don't say, I'm going this way, but only if you guys are coming with me. No, they're like, I'm going this way, and come on, like, this is the way we're going. And that's what leaders do. So It's just a matter of looking at yourself in the mirror and realizing why you're doing this and knowing that you found the vehicle, but you're not in this by yourself. Definitely reach up and reach out. It's just something that makes my job, and I know a lot of the other leaders' jobs, super easy, is when we know what people are, say you have an hour or 2 hours that you're working, on a Tuesday. Like, there's no way for anybody but you to know that that's your 2 hour window that you're working in. So just reach out. And that's would be my thing. Like, when I was in corporate America and I had an hour and a half after work to work, I'd reach out to someone in the support team and be like, okay, I have an hour and a half to work tonight. Before it gets too late for me to call people. If you were me, what would you do with this hour and a half? That's a great question to ask someone that has what you want. If you were me, if you were in my shoes, what would you do with this time that I have today? Like, they're going to give you a perfect answer. And if you take it and be like, yeah, that's really great, and go with it, then you'll have really great results, because you're expecting that advice to be good advice because it's coming from someone that has what you want. So I think that answered those questions pretty well. Jessica, do you have anything to add to that? Any of that stuff?
No, I just want to get some more questions so that we can help more people.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hey guys, just wondering if the market parties or the pre-launch parties are going to sell out in Australia, and kind of the time frame. I have a couple that I think they're in Melbourne. I got the people in Sydney tickets already, but I haven't gotten an answer from the people in Melbourne if they can go. So I don't want to, have the party sell out and not get them in.
Jess, you're muted. Hold on, Jessica's trying to answer. Let me unmute.
I've been told that it's definitely going to. I just don't know when. But I have been told by leadership that there's a lot going on there right now, and I have a feeling it will be sold out. So that's really hard to say. I would definitely, I'm going to be there. So I don't care what I have to do to get people in. If I have to shoot people in the back door, if they don't get tickets, I don't care. I will be there to do everything in my power to, if it does sell out, to get people in, or do pre-sit downs before, or do Facebook Lives and people are standing out in the door. I don't care what I have to do. So we'll pull it off if it does sell out before they get tickets, but see if they can make a decision sooner than later for sure.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and if you do get tickets and it does sell out, and for some reason we have extra tickets, I'm sure it won't
They can't be transferred. They can't be transferred. They actually say all over everything. It cannot be transferred, can't be given away, can't be put in another person's name, can't be anything. It's strict. So if people don't buy like 5 million tickets and take up everybody's ticket, just like they did in Korea, where like one team got like all the tickets because they like bought up everything. They're being really, really strategic about that for this event.
Perfect. Good news is they can. Here's what we'll do. If it does get to that point and they come there and they can't get in, Jessica will be at the event. So we'll have her like Facebook Live it or something from the inside, and then they can meet up. They can meet up right after it's over, so they can come in and circle up. I don't see it being a issue where they're not able to like stand in the at least like standing room. I don't see it being like that crazy, but we'll get them the information and we'll make sure that they meet with leadership that's there locally. They won't be out in the cold by themselves, that's for sure. Jessica, you're frozen, so I don't know if you're trying to say anything. Anybody else have any? Anybody else have any questions? Congrats on hitting director, Emily, who just spoke.
Thank you.
I see that Tennille's on here. Tennille, do you have anything that you want to chime in?
No, I'm just listening to you guys.
Okay,
Where are we?
cool.
Oh, there we go. I'm like, I've got, no, I think everything's good. I think the clarity, let me turn this way. The clarity as far as what you're saying about international growth is good, because I think a lot of people have a prospect, but then from there, they're just not sure what to do, especially even after the letter of intent. So, and then also, we'll have a lot more to talk about after Dallas, obviously. with the convention coming up. So I think unless there's a question that somebody comes up with that I feel like I have a really good answer for, I enjoy listening to you too.
I couldn't hear that last part, but.
Oh, I said unless there's a question that comes up that I feel like I can answer well, I enjoy listening to you too.
Got it. Okay, perfect. No, feel free to chime in whenever you want.
I will.
And then as far as, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my vision for international is getting it doesn't necessarily have to be a weekly thing. Maybe it turns into that, but getting a consistent flow of like webinars that they can invite people to, and we can invite people to, and then also a training. Imagine if we did a Friday our time, which would be Saturday their time, webinar, and a Saturday our time, and which is be Sunday for them, like training or something, or like a 1-2 day flow, like Jeff Olson always talked about how he did when he was building back in the day, where they just know that that's coming. So each week we can have more guests on the webinar, and each week we can have more guests on the training, because the best trained team always wins, and it's always going to have more people inviting to the next webinar. So that's really what I would love to see. We just have to kind of work together as a team on that. We'll get some stuff going.
To be honest, I feel like it would be really cool if we just did like a 1-2 punch, like 10 a.m. their time webinar, 11 a.m. their time training, and just do back to back with us. Because then what we can say on there is say, get back to the person that invited you on. If you get an LOI signed, they will give you the information to hop on the training, and you can turn around and already get kind of everything going. Because if they're already at the highest level of excitement, and then they hop on, and it's only if they sign an LOI though. So maybe like give them after a market party, there's like 30 minutes to close or an hour to close or whatever it is. Maybe give them some time to close, get an LOI signed, and then get on the training from there. But I don't want anybody on the trainings unless they have LOI signed. But as long as there's like a little bit of a break in between, I feel like that would be like a solid, because I know Sundays, like if people go to church, I don't know how it is in Australia, but I know if so many people go to church, I don't know how that would work. Or maybe it would be like a Sunday evening type thing. I'm not sure.
What you just said, that's good. The give them a little break, close them up, and give them a sense of urgency to sign the LOI. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
As far as the LOIs, for people that are watching the replay on this, the easiest way that I know about to sign LOIs is get the free app on your phone. You can also get it on your computer called Sign Now, Sign SIGN Now. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to put the LOI in. You can email the LOI from inside of that app to them, and literally they can open it up. It's already automated where they just type in their name. They can do a little signature on their phone with their finger. And then email it right back. It's like done in like 30 seconds. Like it's super simple.
The Sign Now app changed to CUDA Sign, CUDA Sign. It just changed for whatever reason. When I updated it, the name has changed.
You can still find it either way though. It still says
so. Yeah, that's like the best way. You save it as a PDF and just send it on over. It takes like 2 seconds, and then they have a copy and you have a copy immediately.
Yep. So no, I like that a lot, and we could even have the training on just a separate Zoom meeting ID than the actual webinar, just so that we can really say your brand partner will give you the information for the training. So it's a separate login or whatever. So yeah, I actually like that a lot. We'll talk about this today. We may be announcing this like today. Like I want to act on this. There's a lot of people that have prospects that have already signed LOIs, and then obviously all of us can invite more people. Me personally, I have a lot of people that I want to invite to the webinar. So.
Oh, show.
Anybody else? Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I just want to throw something out that I heard from a lady that kind of I didn't know, and maybe you guys do or don't know. She's from Hong Kong, and I said, yeah, I need someone like you to help me because you know the language there. And then she threw this out there. She said, they all speak English over there in Hong Kong. She said it used to be a British colony. And then I looked it up, and yeah, they speak English and Chinese over there. So just kind of throwing that out there. I know everybody's all about Australia, but this lady from Hong Kong straight up told me that they speak English there in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it'll be a huge market. My a girlfriend of mine that just signed up yesterday. She lives in Hong Kong and she teaches. She does like language. She's a language teacher or whatever. And they all speak English. And so I think she teaches like Spanish and English, and then I don't know, something else. But yeah, she told me that's the same thing, and I was like, that's legit. We can live there too. Way better than having a translator in Korea or Japan for sure. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then obviously, when the whole Colombia thing comes rolling around, don't forget about my wife as well. She speaks perfect Spanish and English. So if you guys need help with any of that,
can I use her on Saturday? I need a 3-way call on Saturday.
Yeah, get a hold of her. She's cool with all of it. You know what I mean? Because we've been doing this for 2 years now and everything. And I literally can't wait for Colombia because I speak enough Spanish to get by too. And so with the people that I know here in Miami, it's just it could be really great there, especially with my wife with the Spanish thing. But I just want to throw that out there with the whole Hong Kong thing because it's just a tiny little island, and then you got this huge China over here. They literally have not much to do with each other than there's like a bridge connecting it. And she said it used to be some kind of British colony back in the day, and they all speak English there. So it kind of shocked me.
So cool.
Yeah. Things you learn.
Nice. Anybody else have anything to add? This is good though. So if not, well, I'm happy to thank you guys for jumping on. And really right now is just always remember, what I've seen in Miriam for almost 4 years with the company is something that was like the first lesson that I ever learned in network marketing. And it's that you're always one recruit away from a massive explosion in your business. And you don't have to know their name, what country they live in, what their background is. You may not even know them right now. Like there's actually a better chance that you don't know them right now than there is that you do know them right now. And that's the coolest thing that I know about life is, most of the amazing things that happen for us, you couldn't predict them. You couldn't script them out. Like there's no way that you could know exactly what it's going to look like. So knowing that the mystery is there, just embrace the mystery and embrace the journey. We always hear, that it's all about the journey, just enjoy the journey. We always hear that. Well, here's the best analogy that I can give to everyone and that I follow myself, and just a really helpful reminder. So say this chapter of your life, just specifically, because all different subjects that you have, whether it be your business, your health, your relationships, whatever, could be a separate chapter. But let's just talk about since we're talking about Miriam, let's talk about this business section, this chapter of your life. Well, right now, this chapter for you might be, the last page of the chapter might be, I am a Lexus earner. Or the last page of the chapter might say, I am a national marketing director, or I am a 3-star, or whatever it is. So just think about the last sentence of your chapter, whatever chapter you're in, being, I am whatever that is for you in this segment of your life. Well, right now you are where you are. So it's fantastic. Like you can be excited about where you are. And we know the last sentence of the chapter is, I am whatever it is that you want to be. So let's just say I am a national marketing director. The pages in between and all the details, all the circumstances, all the conversations that you're going to have, all the 2-a-days that you're going to do, all the regionals that you're going to go to, all the conventions that you're going to have, the people that you're going to meet there, the aha moments that you're going to have in the actual Dallas convention, all of the things that are going to go on those pages between where you are now and that last sentence in that chapter is not up to you. There's no way that you could predict what those pages are going to say, but just know that it's all working out for you. And just know that once you decide that you are a national marketing director, or you are a 3-star, or you are your reason why, or any subject in your life, once you really make a decision and you get excited about that and you know that it's happening, just know and just get to watch all of the synchronicities happen in your life, all those coincidences that you could never predict, all the things that have gotten me to where I am in Miriam and in all areas of my life. If I really go back and look at what happened, the series of events that led up to the last page of the chapter saying I am an NMD, I could have never predicted that. I mean, it would take a whole nother hour or two to tell you all the different things that just aligned in order for me to go from a brand new baby brand partner to NMD. None of them I could predict. In fact, 99% of the people, 99.9% of the people that were on my team as an NMD when I first hit are people that I did not know prior to Nerium. And it'll be the same most likely for you. Well, it will be the same for you. I don't know anyone in the company that knows more than 1% of the people on their team when they get to NMD before Nerium. So it's not about, having it all figured out. Just stay in that green zone, be super excited about everything that is happening between where you are right now and where you want to be. And, it'll just be fun to look back and say, oh my gosh, I could have never predicted that, and all good things will continue to work out for you. So that's my closing subject. Jess, you can have the last word if you like.
No, I just want to tell you guys I love you and I believe in you and we got this. So I'm excited. We'll get information to you about the Australia stuff. And I'm just excited because this is going to be a really, really huge month. I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't start off slow in any way. I would really and truly put your pedal down now because coming into convention, you really do have to kind of condense time frames beforehand because you do take time off while you're there. I mean, obviously, I find me just personally, I know that I'm all around and bouncing around with the team and stuff, but I find that my personal prospecting, like if I reach out to a prospect to follow up or if I set a follow up while I'm there, I have so much energy because I'm around all this energy that I feel like I have like, that chicken list that we all have, I feel like I have more confidence to go after that chicken list when I'm surrounded by a bunch of Nerium brand partners than if I'm sitting at home by myself. So if you've got those people, get those prepared, get that list prepared. And if there's people that you're going to be staying next to us, when you throw us on a three-way call, it'll be so easy right there. But to be really honest with you guys, we really got to get the month started like now and really drive up. And I know there's a holiday weekend coming up, but if there's anything that I can do to help over this holiday weekend and like really driving, if you need to map out anything, if you need your team mapped out for anything, if you need to do like a team Zoom, if you get everybody on your team on one Zoom at one time and you want Noel or I or one of your leaders to hop on and just say, hey guys, where are you at? Where do you want to be this month? Let's get this done. Let's map this out. Let's really get things going. The first 2 days of this month are really important especially with like Australia stuff's coming up. We already have, convention coming up. There's going to be so much momentum coming out of convention, but you are going to go into convention and get distracted. And I just want to make sure that we're not trying to basically do a 30-day month in like 15 days when we get out of convention. So if there's anything that I can do to help to kind of get everything moving along in the beginning stages, the next few days, like let me know and I'll totally help in any way I can. But yeah, let's hit the ground running, get bottles out before you get to Dallas, get bottles out, so that we have bottles pick up when you get back and already start making those initial exposures now so that you'll have people to follow up with after the fact and you're all excited and jacked out of your mind and are like, oh my gosh, where'd this come from? So, and you always have something new to share with them too. And you can say, oh my gosh, you've got to hear what's going on. Oh my gosh, what just happened in the convention, this is insane. I can't even do it justice. Hold on, I got to introduce you to somebody in my support team. They're doing phenomenal things with the company, but you got to hear what's going on for them. It's unreal. And use us like crazy. So just let me know if I can help with anything. I love you guys tons, and I'm here to help. And I will talk to all of you guys really, really soon. Let's make September huge.
All right, you guys, have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you guys soon. Let us know how we can help.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.